If you ask someone what the most disappointing Sonic game is, you'll probably get the usual answers. Sonic Boom, Sonic 06, Sonic Forces. Well, I think the most disappointing Sonic game is one that missed out on its full potential not once, but twice. And that game is... Now wait, before you get mad, I just want to say that Sonic Colors is actually a very fun game and there's a lot to like about it. I've even 100%ed the original and Colors Ultimate. There's a bunch of fun and unique settings and great and engaging levels. And I love the grand space adventure atmosphere that the orchestra tracks give it. But I feel like there's just a few things that held the game back from being one of the best Sonic games ever, so let's get into it. Yeah, I know everyone's already talked about the dialogue and character writing of Sonic Colors, but I still feel like I have something to add to this conversation. Let's get the characters that aren't quite as bad out of the way first. While not all of Warbot and Cubot's jokes land for me, I think as characters they're not actually that bad in this game. They just wouldn't really reach their full potential until the Sonic Boom show. Tails is just kinda here being useless like he was in Sonic Unleashed again, which is kinda lame, but definitely not as bad as other games would treat Tails. Yacker the Wisp does his job just fine enough, and the ongoing joke of the translator constantly getting stuff wrong could have been funny, but I feel like they just kinda executed it wrong, because all they ever do with it is like generic randomness or juvenile and lame. I actually like Eggman's evil plan a lot in this one. It mixes the simplicity of the classic games with the scope of the modern games. Also, his PA announcements tend to be some of the only funny jokes in the game and have cool references to other Sega games. My main issue with Eggman actually comes from his back and forth with Sonic. The way they talk about it really takes away from the grand space adventure feel and makes it feel more like any other Tuesday for them.
He stopped you like it's his job or something. In fact, I can't remember a plan he didn't stop.
Which I think they were aiming for that to be funny and endearing, but to me it honestly comes off pretty depressing. Like these characters are just washed up husks of their former selves going through the motions. Though arguably the worst written character is Sonic, and it's mainly because like 80% of his dialogue is either unfunny cringy jokes, or these really weird awkward drawn out scenes that are supposed to be funny but just paint him as an awkward dork, as opposed to being the embodiment of coolness that he was in all the previous games. Now, not all the dialogue is bad. In fact, there's some scenes where the characters feel just right, and there's even some funny jokes in the game too. I specifically like the ongoing bucket of sushi joke. Like, of course an amusement park ran by an evil scientist has terrible seafood that makes you sick. That's great.
What's the verdict?
His cruelty knows no bounds.
If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you should comment your thoughts on Sonic Colors down below. Another thing that was pretty disappointing about the game is the fact that there's so much cool DS content that wasn't in the Wii version. Namely the fact that there's cameos from other characters, and a grand finale with a supersonic boss. Considering their presence in the DS game, I wonder if they were originally planned for the Wii version but cut for some reason. Now this is probably the least important point, but I still wanted to mention it anyways. All the areas have their own music for the level select menu, and considering the Boost games both right before and right after this game both had hub areas, I wonder if these level selects were originally supposed to be hub areas like Sonic Unleashed, but were cut due to the limitations of the Wii. Yes, I know the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed had open areas, but they're all visually basically the same and have the same music, and the Sonic Colors ones were clearly going to be more visually distinct and already had different music made for them. Actually, this might be the least important point, but I still wanted to mention it real quick. Some of the levels have these wisp containers at the end, and I think these are some of the coolest goalposts in the entire series. I just wish that they were in every level instead of most levels using the basic goal rings. Now I actually enjoyed Sonic Colors Ultimate. The rival rushes are neat, and I also like the new homing attack mechanic with timing it just right, because that adds another layer of depth to the gameplay. And I love a bunch of the new mixes of the music, especially the new version of the Supersonic music, and also they took the Ferris wheel boss music, which was completely boring in the original version, and made it an absolute banger in the new one. And the new version of the final boss music is my favorite song between both soundtracks. That new version of Speak With Your Heart completely sucks though. So while a bunch of the new additions are cool, the big issue is that they had a second chance to fix all the old issues, and they didn't. Like sure, Sonic Generations gets a mostly pointless rewrite, but not the game with
Baldy nose hair!
And they knew how much everyone wanted to see supersonic bosses return. That's why they pushed them so hard in Sonic Frontiers, which actually might be the reason that they didn't put the supersonic boss back in Sonic Colors Ultimate. Because the grand return of supersonic bosses in Sonic Frontiers wouldn't hit as hard if a game the year before had a supersonic final boss. It makes me wonder that if they released Sonic Colors Ultimate after Sonic Frontiers if they would have put the supersonic boss in, since they knew how much everyone wanted it. Plus I bet they would have put the open areas in if it released after Sonic Frontiers, since it seems like as of Frontiers, open areas are going to be a staple of the series moving forwards, which I'm all here for. I love the open areas. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so I can hopefully do this full time, and I'll see you all next time.